YouTube, what's going on? Happy Sunday night, if there is such a thing. I have a lot of stuff that I want to try to cover in this video, so I'm going to try to blow through it because it's like all my haulage from the last week, plus Friday night's local diecast meet, plus some other stuff. So, first thing I want to touch on is these paint pens. Okay, I've always had a big issue with these M2 Auto Japan cars because they're always giving us black wheels. But you can get the liquid chrome pens from Hobby Lobby. They work great. Or you can get this metallic silver from Walmart. The silver pen is like $2.50. Rubs off easy. You got to be careful with it. These are Greenlight wheels from the Black Bandit Datsun 510. Painted them silver, put them on the Z. I think it looks way better. The wheels do need some touching up, but I think it's much improved from what it was. You can feel the quality difference too, just in the tires alone. So I did that. Here's one with that liquid chrome pen, which that one's from Hobby Lobby. It's about $12, but you can use the 40% off. But I mean, it just looks so much better than the black. It's like ridiculous how much nicer it is. The chrome doesn't rub off as easily, which is a good thing. You just got to be careful after you paint the wheels. Be careful getting the tires back on so as to not rub the paint off. So, and then the last one, or I guess I got two more. I got this red Skyline, did the wheels chrome on that. I think this one came out good because it left that black ring inside the lip, which I think looks really cool. Almost looks like a nice, like really detailed version of the Matchbox. I love the way these wheels came out. And this one came with the black wheels. Just most of the Auto Japan cars do. All of them come with black wheels, and it drives me nuts. These wheels were black, but I took the silver paint pen to these because I wanted silver, not chrome. And I think these ones came out very, very nice. They have a nice little detailed look about them. I chromed the side views, and I think that's a pretty sharp looking little Datsun, although I do like the Greenlight a lot better. So that's it for the paint part of it. Now I got a bunch of stuff over the course of the last week. I picked this up. It's a Fantastic Four Marvel comic from January of 1990, but it's signed by the illustrator Art Adams. I don't know anything about comic books, but it was so cheap that I figured I would just buy it. Found a set of Eurospeed. Let's see here. Okay. I'll show you guys this and then we'll get into the rest of the diecast. So I was at Hobby Lobby last night with my daughter, and this thing, I don't know if I knocked it down or she did, but this fell on the ground and then the lid popped off and this fell out. This thing is sick. It's a 1:55 scale. It's an unlicensed car. It looks kind of like a cross between maybe like a Nissan Z, maybe even a Silvia, or maybe a Toyota Supra. I don't know, something like that. But little reverse lights and headlights. Thing is pretty quick. I mean, it's impossible, like, driving it on the layout. It's too fast, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to mess around with. The remote looks like this. It takes two AA batteries, and then the car just plugs into this to charge it. So I don't know. It was like $10. I think they're usually like 20 or maybe 30. I don't know. So that's kind of interesting. The rest of this stuff is all going to be diecast stuff. So, okay. And the last part of the video is going to be kind of like a survey. So, as far as the stuff that I found Friday night at the local meet, I picked this up because at some point I do plan on having a GoPro. I added the chrome to the wheels, just testing out the new 1mm chrome pen. They're kind of sloppy, but I don't care. I'm going to take them off anyways. I would recommend going with real riders for this. Rubber tires are going to take away a lot of that noise that you get. Anyways, so I think that's a pretty cool little thing. Be better once I have the camera for it. Found that for $3. Thought that was a pretty decent price. Everybody else that I've come across that's had this is selling it as a set only, and they have to sell it as a set only because no one wants that set. Everybody just wants one car. I also found the gold Camaro, the little plastic Camaro piece of junk. Paid $3 for that one too. I don't know honestly if $3 is a good price for either one, but whatever. Alright, what else did I find Friday night? I found this. Before I show you guys this, I'm going to show you this. This is a casting that I've had. It's an Ertl American Muscle 1970 Chevy Camaro Z28. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen what I'm about to show you. But there's a guy Friday night had this on his table for $2. And when I picked it up and started looking at it, I'm like, hey, I recognize that. I recognize that little casting. And I think this one is a heck of a lot nicer. This is a 1970 Chevy Camaro Z28 Baldwin Motion. I love the red and black. I love the lines on the black. That's really what I like the most about it. This is, in my opinion, the best second-gen Camaro tooling in the scale of any brand. M2, Greenlight, Johnny Lightning, doesn't matter. This tooling, I think, is a lot nicer. And in my opinion, this right here is my favorite Camaro of any year. My favorite Camaro in my collection right here. So I was happy to find that for $2. It has all the same detail as the Ertl. Opening hood, opening trunk. You can see the Ertl has the chrome trim around the rear glass. This one doesn't. The Ertl has the painted drivetrain and exhaust, and this one doesn't. But as far as the like lens headlights, side view mirrors, the engine on both of these is extremely detailed. These Ertl American Muscles. If you guys don't have one of these in your collection, you should definitely grab one because they're ridiculously detailed. These were like, I think these were like the these are what inspired the M2 cars, because these were assembled just like a 1:24 scale model, but just awesome detail, hoses and stuff like that. So really cool to find that. Surprised it's a Racing Champs release, but it's an Ertl tooling, so I'll take it. Racing Champs has actually done that. They actually, even recently, since Round 2 has taken them over, they put out the GTO and the Charger Daytona. Both of those are also Ertl toolings. I grabbed this the other night at Hobby Lobby. This is Greenlight Hot Pursuit 26. It's number 862. And it is the Department of Homeland Security Crown Vic I love this Crown Vic. It's the first time we've seen this casting with this light bar. And I like it because, you know, growing up, this is the light bar. Everybody has the light bar of your own era. But for my era, growing up in the 80s and 90s, this thing right here, it's probably a little outdated for a 2011 Crown Vic, but whatever. I love the headlight tampos. It's so detailed, they almost look lensed. And I really love what they did with the tail lights on this one. I love that metallic red. It almost looks lensed. So, very nice. I love this Crown Vic. It's my favorite Crown Vic that they've put out. My favorite police car Crown Vic that they've put out in a long time. Alright, so that's pretty sweet. We're only 11 minutes in, and I'm to the last part. Real quick, before I get into the last part, one thing I wanted to mention to you guys. Here's one of those new Cherokees I just got. I did a wheel swap. These wheels came on the original Grand Wagoneer that Johnny Lightning put out when Round 2 first reintroduced them. But they are OEM Jeep wheels, and they also were very similar to the wheels on the Cherokee Laredo from the 1980s. What's cool about this car is that it's an unofficial movie car from an iconic 1980s movie, and one of my all-time favorite movies. It's a great movie. I introduced my daughter to it a couple of weeks ago. She's almost 7 years old. I don't remember how Chunk says it, but I think he says ORV, ORV. I think it was ORV. I think that's how he referenced it in the movie. Nowadays it would be SUV, but back in 1985 or whenever the movie was made, there was no such thing as an SUV. Well, there was, but they weren't referred to as SUV. So he was saying, I think it was ORV, which would be off-road vehicle. So anyways, it would be the Fratelli's Jeep Cherokee from the Goonies. It's basically the same body style. It's missing, there's a couple differences. Theirs had a brush guard with the KC lights with the little yellow KC light covers. Theirs also had a moonroof in the top. You know what's funny about this? Well, I'll get into that later on. There's a guy on eBay who made these custom. He made the brush guard. He would cut the moonroof in. He would put the license plate on it, and then he would drill little holes for the bullet holes. So, unofficial Goonies car. Pretty awesome. Okay, now the last part of the video, and I'll kind of touch back on something with that, but if you buy a Racing Champions 1984 Bronco and open it up out of the package, this is what it's going to look like. Might be a different color, but essentially this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have the ass sag. You're going to have these cheap wheels and tires. Everything about the casting is beautiful. The detail with the grille, the headlights, indicators, the bumper even has the composite molding. Got the license plate. The wipers are detailed. Got the Ford letters on the hood. Even the engine. Well, the engine's not like, I don't think it's super detailed, but it has decent detail. So it's a really nice piece, especially on the back where you have that chrome tailgate with the tail lights, license plate. Again, you have that composite molding on the bumper. So everything about the casting is awesome, but everything about the base and the wheels and tires is awful. So anyways, I've shown this before. I know you've all seen this, but it's a lead into something else. I sent this one to a buddy of mine in Texas, and he put, basically, he just did a little suspension lift to it. I sent him the wheels and tires, and then he did the work. It's pretty simple. It's just, I don't know what kind of tubing that is, but you just adhere that to the chassis, and then you make your axle and just run it through, and then you're good to go. And then when he sent it back to me, I did the safari rack, but I liked the way it looked so much with the lift that anytime I'd look at all my other Broncos, I just couldn't, like, they just look awful. So I sent him 3 of the 4 Broncos that I had left. Here's the green one, now lifted. I painted the wheels on this. I need to touch them up, and I need to clean up the tires. The only problem with this is when, once you have the axles on, you can't take the tires off of the wheels without taking the wheel off of the axle. But they just look so much better with this lift. It's like unbelievable how awesome they look compared to how they look coming from round 2. I sent him this red one. This one might be my favorite, maybe. I love the way the red and white looks, and I love the white wheels on it. I think that's a killer looking Bronco. It'd be cool to have like a little fire department tampo for the door. Make it like a fire captain, something like that. But anyways, this one is awesome. This one might be my favorite. I don't know. I like this next one a lot too. This is the brown one. I specifically requested black wheels for this one, and I'm glad I did. I think it looks pretty awesome. So anyways, you can see, they just look a million times nicer with proper suspension. Although I have to say, when I first got this one back from him, I posted a picture of these two sitting next to each other on one of the Johnny Lightning pages, and somebody said, I like the stock one better, it looks better. Now, I know this is subjective, I know this is a matter of opinion, but what in God's name about the stock one looks better? What about it looks better? There's nothing about this one that looks better than that one. Even objectively speaking, it just isn't there. So, I don't know, that just really baffled me. But to each their own, I guess. I think at some point, I might take the top off of one of these. That's a plastic top. I think maybe on one of these lifted ones, I'll pop the top off. Maybe on the green one. Anyways, what else? He sent me a whole bunch of Rokes like this. Roke, for those of you that don't know, it's a random act of kindness, just a bunch of free stuff. This Toyota 2000 GT Custom. He sent me this. This is an awesome custom right here. This is the Hot Wheels tooling. He took the long bed and cut, I don't know, probably 1/8 of an inch out of it, and made this roached out, weathered farm truck custom. Like, the rusting effect looks really good, and then the detail's pretty darn nice as well. The little bed tonneau cover there. But you can see here where he cut it down. A lot of work went into this one. So that's pretty sweet. I like that truck a lot, actually. He sent me this Tin Toys Toyota Supra, oddball Toyota for my collection. Pretty dope. He sent me this Pikes Peak Celica. I think this is from one of those Hot Wheel racing releases that they had. But I love that car. He sent me this. This is also... This is a Greenlight wheel swap that he did. It's a hard car to find. From Men in Black... It's either Men in Black 2 or Men in Black 3. I think it's Hollywood Series 5. Or right around Series 5. Ford Taurus SHO, completely murdered out. Blacked out headlights, blacked out taillights. I have this car. This one is wheel swapped. These are not the stock wheels. Looks like these are the wheels from the Chrysler 300C. There's your blacked out taillights. Really cool casting though from Greenlight. I love the Ford Taurus. Most of the time this comes out with police deco, so it's very hard to find the civilian models. And he sent me this, a detampoed AutoZone, detampoed / wheel swapped with Greenlight wheels. Pretty cool looking Econoline. And then I had him do this. I bought this car at my Friday night diecast meet for $1, and it had, well, here's the stock version of the Typhoon. Greenlight did this. They did it very well, I thought. It's a pretty rare car in real life. I don't think any other diecast brand ever did this. I know Hot Wheels did an S10. Matchbox might have done an S10 too. But no premium brand had ever done this casting. And Johnny Lightning did it, and they actually did it really well. A lot of nice detail with the headlights, indicators, opening hood, even prototypical wheels. Those are the stock wheels for the Typhoon. GMC also made a truck version, which is more rare than the Blazer. The truck was called the Cyclone. But anyways, so this one is a Playing Mantis era, metal on metal, rubber tires, prototypical wheels. The red one was a Tomy era, plastic base, plastic, cheap, crappy plastic wheels and tires. And so I paid $1 for it, sent it off to him, and he did this little lift on it. It looks, I think, 1,000,000 times better. The rear wheels get locked up a little bit, but I don't care. I think it looks really cool. So there's that. And then the last one that he did, he just did a base swap. I had an old Tomy International, and I wanted one of the new detail ones lifted. So I sent him this International Scout with the Tomy one so that he could do a little base swap. And I don't know, I think it looks a lot better. Got these big old knobby Hot Wheels tires. I added this to it today when I got it home because this, at the time, was my front runner for the new Safari rack that I built, which is my next topic here real quick before I wrap this up. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen. So I made this custom Safari rack for this once my buddy lifted it. And I like it so much that I've got another Safari rack made. I just need to decide what vehicle I'm going to put it on. So here's the rack with the tire and all the, got a little antenna. Now, the way that I make these is you have to buy a Greenlight Volkswagen van, one of the Volkswagen vans that has the luggage rack on top. And then you pull the luggage rack off of it. And then you have to take one of the Greenlight military trucks and pull the pitchfork or the shovel and the pickaxe off the side of that. And then you attach, actually no, you also need to get a Johnny Lightning Dodge Ram with the roll bar. So these parts come from 3 other vehicles. Your Johnny Lightning Dodge Ram, your Greenlight military truck, and your Greenlight Volkswagen. And then once you have all the parts, you cut everything down to how you need it, and then you glue everything together, and then you get one of these. The tire's not glued down yet, but it will be. So, anyways, the International Scout here has been my leading candidate. This has been the one that I've been leaning towards doing, which is why I put that bull bar on the front. Now, whichever ones I don't do today or tomorrow, I will do. I need to get 2 or 3 more. So I want your guys' opinion. Should I do the International Scout? Not that it matters, because I think my mind's already made up. But this is one. This would be, these are the 3 that I have it narrowed down to. The red Jeep Cherokee. I think it looks really good on this Jeep Cherokee too. Really, really good. And then the last one, and the one I'm like 90% sure I'm going to put it on, is this one here. This is the Toyota Land Cruiser. I'm definitely leaning heavy towards Land Cruiser. Now I like this one because it has the mud on it and everything, but if I were to put this on a Land Cruiser, because you're using super glue, I think I'd want to put it on one that I have duplicates of. So I got this one from Walmart. It has a little bit of a front axle issue. And then luckily I found another one Friday night at the local meet for $4, so it's cheaper than retail. And it doesn't have any issues. Front axle's perfect. But I did paint the wheels, which I think, even painted the spare, I think they look better like this than they do in black. And since I have 2 of these Land Cruisers, I can compromise one with a Safari rack. So this is the one I'm leaning towards right here. But I really, even if I don't put it on these 2, eventually I want to make a Safari rack for both of these. So I need to buy a couple more Greenlight VW vans, and a couple more military trucks, and a couple more Dodge Rams. Yeah, that's an expensive Safari rack to make, for sure. You figure the Dodge Ram is $6. The Greenlights, both Greenlights, are $6 a piece. And then, so that's $18 just for the rack. It's a $24 car by the time it's all said and done. And that's if you're getting everything at retail prices. But it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, that is killer. It's proper. These Land Cruisers were actually used in Africa for safaris, hence the term Safari rack. And I know a lot of you might be thinking, well, that's a canvas soft top. Can't put a Safari rack on a canvas soft top. And actually, you can. People do it all the time. Jeep Wranglers, Land Cruisers, even soft top International Scouts. It can be done, and it is done regularly. So it wouldn't be inaccurate to do it. Although Although to do it proper, you probably would want to fabricate a little bit of a mounting system. Something I would not take the time to do. So I think it looks good enough just like that. But what do you guys think? Which one do you think it looked the best on? The Scout, the Jeep, or the Toyota? It looks really good on all three. And here's this one. That one's already done. That one's not coming off. I think the new rack definitely came out better. I like the little whip antenna. Although I think on this Jeep, I think the whip would look better if it was in the back part of the rack. But on the other two, I think it looks pretty good as it is. So, anyways, comment your thoughts below. Thanks everybody for checking it out. You guys have a good week. Don't work too hard. And I will holler at the next video. Peace.